everyone. This is Robbe with Believe in the Run. And we're going live here. I guess we're live right now. But so today we'll be talking with Innovate Running, and who should be joining us here shortly. So if you're not familiar with Innovate, actually I'm going to just pop them in right here, right now. Hey Lee, what's going on?
Hey, yeah, how are we doing? Nice to see
Good.
you.
So I was just introducing you to everyone, and let me fix my camera angle real quick. So I was just introducing you to everyone, and this is Lee Procter from Innovate, a UK-based company, which for those in the trail running community, I think a lot of people are familiar with you, but maybe from outside of trail running, you know, especially in the US, you're still like gaining a name for yourself, at least in the more broader circles, I would say. But I will say we've reviewed a lot of Innovate shoes in the last year. I think we reviewed 3 of your models, and we really love them. So I'm like really excited to talk to you and learn more about Innovate's shoes, like your technologies, because the grip on your shoes is crazy good. So I'm really interested to hear about that and like how you developed that and what you got going for the future. But to start out, can you just tell people your name, title, and what you do for Innovate, and then go into a little bit about what Innovate does?
Yeah, certainly. So, hi everyone. Nice to meet everybody. My name's Lee Procter, and yeah, I'm the Global Communications Manager for Innovate. I've worked for Innovate for over 7 years now. I'm a trail runner, mountain runner, and what we call here in the Lake District of the UK, we call it fell running. So I'm a fell runner. Fells are what's very similar to what you guys would call mountains. But when we're fell running, we often don't stick to trails. It's a little bit like orienteering in that sense. We
Gotcha.
will run off trail, and we will have checkpoints. For example, we may start at the bottom of the hill, and the checkpoint may be on the summit, and you can make your own way to the summit, so you don't have to stick to the trail.
Now, I'm actually going to jump into fells running real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Because with fells running or fell running, is there a course marked out as far as like which way you have to go through the terrain, or can you go like the most direct route or whichever route you want?
Races do vary depending on. Often it depends on the permission of the landowner that we're running on. So if he or she would want you to go in a certain place, or there are areas that are restricted, you will follow a marked route. But
Gotcha.
often in terms of fell running, when we're in the fells, for example, there's lots of races over 10 to 12 miles in distance, which may visit 4 or 5 summits, and the checkpoints will be on the summits. The routes you choose between those summits is entirely up to you. And
Okay.
often races are won and lost on decisions made in terms of route choice.
That's pretty interesting. Okay. Sorry, that was just a real sidetrack because I've always been fascinated
That's fine.
with fells running. So you could talk a little bit more about yourself and Innovate.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it all ties into Innovate, because Innovate was born here in the Lake District in the UK, which is home to the fells. So Innovate was born here in 2003, 17 years ago now, by a guy called Wayne Eady. And he spotted a gap in the market here for an aggressive, lightweight running shoe for running trails and for running off trail, as I've described. You know, he really put all his investment into it and everything that he had into making this brand work. And he got traction really quickly with really grippy shoes that really gave confidence to runners running fells, running mountains, and running trails. And it's taken off from there, really.
So it's an interesting segment, I guess, because, you know, here in America, we have like a lot of runners either choose between a shoe that's meant for technical terrain, like in the East Coast or like mountain running, or then you'll have like something that's lighter with a less aggressive tread, that maybe you'll use on hard packed trails on the West Coast. But then, and there's those are kind of like the two usages that most people go for. So, maybe not something as much as fells running, that that type of running that we do here, but so it is an interesting niche that Innovate fills in that way. And I know one of your companies, one of the things you stick to a lot is that grippy outsole. And I know last year when we reviewed the Mud Claw and I believe the TerraUltra G 260, that's one of the things that our reviewers loved about that shoe, or both of those shoes, was that they were super grippy, super sticky, and especially I think a couple of our reviewers in Maryland here had it. And trails out here are very rocky, and roots and rocks, so it definitely helped in that regard. So can you tell me more about the technologies that go into Innovate shoes?
Yeah, it's first off, it's great to hear that people are benefiting from the grip that we provide on our shoes. And it's probably worth saying at this point that we do shoes across all terrains. So we design our shoes for the variety of terrains. For example, a mud claw shoe, as you alluded to there, is obviously designed for mud and soft ground, whereas shoes, for example, called the Trail Rock or the TerraUltra, they're designed for harder trails, rocky ground. And what we do is whenever we design a new shoe, we build it from the outsole up. So right from the bottom, from the rubber that we're going to use and the design of the lugs, the cleats, how we're going to do that, we always start with the outsole, and we always think about grip and traction and having a nimbleness to that as well.
Okay.
And then from there, then we start to build up through the shoe. So we go into the midsole through, and then obviously up into the upper as well. So yeah, it's not, we pride ourselves on, delivering the best grip. And so that's where we start designing all our shoes from.
So now I know you use a composite material called graphene on a lot of your shoes, maybe all of your shoes, I'm not sure. And I know you're one of the only companies maybe to use that material. So, in a lot of trail shoes, you'll see a Vibram outsole. That's kind of like the standard for grippiness for a lot of companies, whether it's Hoka or Topo Athletic or anything like that. So what is different about a graphene outsole, and what is it, first of all, as opposed to your standard like Vibram, XS Track or whatever, what type of outsole?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So graphene is the strongest material in the world. It's 200 times stronger than steel. It actually comes from graphite rock, and it's a tiny, tiny, tiny material. It's almost impossible to the eye to see. It has to be seen through a microscope. And in about 2017, our CEO at the time had a bit of a light bulb moment. He'd read about graphene in a newspaper, and it was linked to the University of Manchester. And at the university, they have the National Graphene Institute. And something in his mind sparked, and he thought, the world's strongest material, is there anything we could do with that?
Yeah.
So he got into conversations with the graphene experts at the university, the world leading scientists in this material. And the conversation went from there. They started throwing around ideas about what they could do with graphene in terms of running shoes. And that's where it went from. And what we've done in 2018, we brought to market the first ever graphene running shoes. And basically what that entails is we take the graphene and we infuse it into the rubber outsoles. And what it does is it allows, maybe the best way to explain this is, as a runner, you want some soft, sticky grip for the best possible traction you can get. But the problem with that is that it wears down quickly. Mm-hmm. So what the graphene does is it imparts all its strength, all its elasticity, and it gives that durability. So it means you can have soft, sticky grip, which lasts much longer.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So
yeah, and we're the only brand in the world who are able to use graphene in sports footwear. So we feel very lucky. We know there was several brands chasing the same thing, and I think the fact that Innovate is quite a small company, we're very agile, we're able to act quickly on ideas and move quickly, really helped us. There's not so much red tape at Innovate, you know, we're nimble and we're agile. And I think we were, you know, from the original idea through to putting the first graphene shoe on the shelf was less than 18 months.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's pretty impressive. Now, do you have any type of patent rights to that or to that technology?
Yeah. So we've got a patent pending on the use of graphene in outsoles and midsoles of shoes.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's pretty awesome. So I know that graphene, I know you've taken that outsole, and so is it in all of your shoes or is it just in certain models?
Yeah, it obviously we started by putting it in 3 models when we first launched it in 2018. That was the summer of 2018, and we're now 2 years down the line. It's probably in about a third of the models now, maybe nearer towards a half. So yeah, we're spreading it throughout the line. We're looking to further use it in the outsoles of more models as well. It's been a fantastic success for us. It gives us something really different to any other brand out there, and you know, the performance has stood up. Everyone, you know, we get lots of comments about how fantastic the graphene grip is. So yeah, we'll be continuing to develop it. You know, and graphene as a material, if you speak to the experts at the university, you know, it has limitless potential. Graphene has been used across all number of things, whether it's from advances in medicine to sports cars to aeroplanes, tennis rackets, golf balls. You know, it really is changing many technologies across the world, and we're looking at other ways we can use it as well. So we won't be just stopping at the outsoles of shoes.
That's really fascinating, because obviously, like in the shoe industry, like they're always looking for that like technological edge, whether it's carbon fiber, obviously infused plates in racing shoes, or I love the, you know, the graphene idea, or kind of that light bulb moment that you have where it's like, this could work for outsoles. It's definitely pretty cool. So like one of the shoes that's being used in is the TerraUltra G 270, which is that released today?
Yeah, that was launched today. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So like, I know we're getting it in for review, I think like today or tomorrow, I think it's coming in. But do you want to show it off and like kind of talk about that?
Yeah, love to. Yeah, if that's okay. Yeah. So this is. Can let me move my monitor a bit. There we go.
Good looking shoe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's this TerraUltra G 270. The G stands for graphene, and the 270 represents the weight of the shoe. So that's 270 grams. And we do that on all Innovate shoes. The number of the shoes represents the weight and the average size across the size curve.
Okay, I never knew that. So that's
it's amazing. Lots of people don't, and they're always fascinated when I tell them.
That's super useful for me, so that way when I'm writing the reviews, I can just like, I don't have to look up the weight. I can just put it. Do you know what that? Do you know off the top of your head what that translates to ounces? Because I'm terrible at the conversion.
I'm really sorry. I'm terrible as well the other way. This is a very, right. I guess this is a very English American difference.
I mean, we're idiots for this stupid system.
No, I think we might be.
All right. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and so the TerraUltra G 270. It's an evolution of our first ever graphene shoe, actually, which was called the TerraUltra G 260, which sold fantastically well for us. It won multiple awards, including we were really stoked because we're quite a small business, so to win Runners World UK Trail Running Shoe of the Year in 2018 for that, it was a really big accolade for us. And so we took all the feedback that we got from that shoe, and one of the things was that it was quite, it was a very, very firm ride. So we've really worked hard on improving the midsole area. Okay. We've developed a new foam called Powerflow Max that we've put in there, which gives a plusher ride with 20% more energy return through. Okay. So it's a really nice feel underfoot now. We've worked on the graphene grip on the rubber outsole. We've redesigned the outsole. We've realigned the cleats slightly. So there's much more there's even better grip, and it's a lot more agile as well. When you're going over rocks, rocky terrain, it almost feels like, somebody said this, is it feels like you feel like Spider-Man. You're almost molding a bit to the rocks, which is really nice because there's a lot of shoes in the market which are quite rigid underfoot. So to have that agility, is something that we're super keen on.
Well,
so we've made some real, some really, really positive changes to the shoe, and it's the feedback so far has been fantastic.
That's great. Yeah, I think one of the things, like we mentioned before, is that if you do have that durability, you're kind of stuck with maybe something that doesn't grip very well, or just doesn't feel like it molds to the trail or to the to rocks or whatever. So that's kind of cool to hear that the 270s, that the feedback you've received kind of points to like great flexibility while maintaining great grip. So that's cool.
And that's part of what Innovate's always been about. We talk about the natural feel of running. We're not a barefoot brand by any stretch of the imagination, but we want we talk about the foot controlling the shoe rather than the shoe controlling the foot. You can run in some shoes where the foot and the shoe don't feel connected in any way, whereas you want that to be the case, the most that natural feel, and we really try to do that with all Innovate products.
So with the one thing I wanted to ask you real quick was, you mentioned the new midsole's a little bit updated with better energy return. Is it an EVA based midsole?
Yeah, well, there's a combination of materials in there, but there's EVA. And what we've done is increase the amount of TPU in there, to give us a softer ride with that energy return that we were looking for. The other thing that we've done, and I know people will think this sounds like a small thing, but the difference is amazing. We've put a brand new type of insole in there.
Okay.
And it's like, I'll get it. Hang on, give me 1 second. I'll hunt it out.
Yeah, pull it out.
I should have had this ready, shouldn't I, really?
That's all good.
So if you can see there, I've taken out that's the top side of the insole.
Right.
The bottom side, you can see the little beads that are on there.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of these beads on the bottom of there, and the idea is that when they compress as you come down, and then they store the energy, and they fire it back out. They propel you through it. And we've had it measured, and the insole delivers 40% more energy return than the insole from the previous 260 shoe did. Wow. So you're really feeling that in this new shoe. You're really feeling that bounce, which obviously a lot of people are looking for at the moment in shoes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are like you said, that bounce, that energy return is like, it's almost like an addicting feeling that people are always like looking for in shoes right now. That's what I feel like, anyways.
It's definitely a buzzword, isn't it? It's snappy ride, bounce, responsiveness. People looking for that in their shoes. I think obviously with Nike doing the road shoe, the marathon shoe, really kicked it off, and seeing it move into trail as well now. Yeah,
it's but that's really cool to hear that. And now I'm thinking I should have, like, I gave it to our main trail reviewers to review, but now I'm thinking I probably should have asked for that shoe for myself.
we could maybe send another pair.
All right, we'll figure it out. So like, you're obviously a smaller company as far as, you're not Nike or New Balance. Yeah. So, and you only started, I guess 17 years ago now. So what are your plans, or I guess for the future of Innovate? I know you do offer some, road running shoes and like CrossFit or like lifestyle shoes. So what are your kind of plans as a company going forward, and for not just in the UK or Europe, but in the US as well?
Yeah, we want to grow across obviously all the markets that we provide product for. Trail running is huge part of our business, and we want to grow, obviously, like you mentioned, across the world. We now trade in 58 or 59 countries.
Oh wow.
So yeah, when I say we're small, but I do it in relativeness to Nikes and
Yeah.
Salomons and brands like that. You know, we haven't got the resources that they've got, but what we have is something very unique. We're Innovate because we innovate, because we do things differently. And
Right.
being a small, agile team allows us to do things that bigger brands can't do. You probably hear this from other people who come on here and talk to you, but genuinely, people that Innovate live and breathe the brand. We are nearly the majority. I would say 80% of us are either runners, crossfitters, or hikers. We all test the product. We're out every lunchtime wearing it. Our back doors to our office are just full of shoes. You go and grab a pair of shoes and off you go. And then you write a feedback report when you get back.
That's awesome.
We absolutely live and breathe the brand here, and it's a fantastic place to work in that sense.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying, yeah, we're looking to grow across all our markets. That's trail running, mountain running, trail running, orienteering, and then we're big in there's a sport called swim run. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I actually have heard of it. I don't think there's too many swim run events. Well, obviously there's none right now, but I think last year there's only like a handful in the US, and we actually came across it in the first place because we reviewed a Salming shoe that was a swim run shoe. So yeah, like do you do that as well, or
we do that. Yeah, so we got obviously our shoes are super lightweight, we're really grippy, so when you're getting out of the water on the wet rocks, you want that kind of confidence boosting grip. And our shoes are very light and very breathable, so the water also exits the shoe very easily. So yeah, it's perfect for swim run. Obstacle course racing, another one.
Sure.
Loved in obstacle course racing.
So swim, actually, can you tell me more about swim running? Because this is just for me. Because it's very interesting to me. So it's like the concept is that you swim between islands and then run. Is that like, and then like there's a start and finish? Is that like the idea of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's different events, you know, and they probably differ depending on the country that you're in. The event, I've done a couple of them myself here in the Lake District, and they've gone along the format of you set off, you're on land, you do it in pairs, so you do it with a partner, and you run as fast as you can down to the lake, and then you swim across the lake, you get out on the other side, you then do 2K, 3K running, you jump back in the lake, another lake further down, you swim across that, you then do more running, you jump in another lake, you swim again, and all this time you wear your wetsuit and your running shoes throughout. So when you're running, you wear your wetsuit, so you don't take it off. You stay in your kit the whole time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, does that? How much? I guess I have no concept. So how much weight does like a wetsuit add to you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we cut them off, so it's almost a bit more, depending on the weather, you will wear it almost like a tri-suit, so you would cut the arms and the legs off.
Right.
They're short, but it's less about the weight that they carry and more the warmth that they bring to you when you're running.
I guess
they're not the most comfy, and there can be elements of chafing, shall we say.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen a couple of them listed in the U.S., but I know it's like not really caught on yet. But I could definitely see it, especially as I feel like the tri world's like in a weird transition period, at least like over here. So like I wonder that if that maybe something new like swim run will like kind of catch on, because it also seems more attractive to like someone who might be intimidated by a triathlon or like an Ironman. It seems like it's more accessible to like swim a short distance than run. And so
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, and the events that I've done have always been very welcoming to all abilities.
cool.
It's just you often find that people are good at one of the disciplines, a bit like myself. I'm all right. I'm a decent runner, so me and my partner were left behind on every swim, and then we would make our way through the field on every run,
man.
only to lose the places again as soon as we got back in the water.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, let me see. I think we have like one question here. Let me see what.
Yeah.
It's actually from Thomas. So, um, he said the road shoes seem to be really popular. And why? Oh, here, I'll pull it up. The road shoes seem to be popular. Why stop road shoe development? Or maybe did you take a step back?
Yeah, no, we still have road shoes in our range. We did have more of them several years ago. We did have more road shoes in the range. It's business, as you'll probably hear from other people who have these same conversations. If you don't sell enough of them, it doesn't make business sense to continue in the line. And it's such a heartbreaking thing to do because, you know, people love certain products, but, you know, and it's really hard to say to them, sorry, we're having to stop that line. I know you love it, but we're not selling enough of them to make business sense. And it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
But we do have, you know, we are developing new road shoes. We are looking at ways we can introduce graphene into road running shoes. And we're looking at a few ideas of different ways that we can do it. So watch this space. We might surprise a few people over the next 18 months with something in the road running category.
Cool. Well, I did want to ask you, coming back to the graphene, and this pertains to either road shoes or trail shoes, how long can you expect to get out of a shoe since it's such a durable material?
It's a difficult one to put an exact number on because obviously everybody is different.
Yeah, sure.
In the way that they run, their gait or their weight can make it, you know, their size can make a difference, how heavy they hit the ground, also the type of terrain that they're running on. But I use an example of in testing, one of the mudclaw shoes that, you know, we had one of our testers here in the UK put 1,000 miles into his mudclaw shoes with graphene, and he was still able to wear them. You know, we took them back off him because we needed them for further testing back at the office. But, you know, I'm not saying that everybody though is going to get 1,000 miles out of their shoes, but, you know, we would expect everyone to feel like they've got, you know, more than value for money.
I mean, it almost sounds like other components would break down before the outsole would, which is kind of the opposite in typical road running.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Which is why no surprise that we're looking at developing graphene into midsole areas as well.
I get
So, you know, we've got real opportunity with this material to create something very special, and, you know, we are looking at that.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, I'm excited to see what our reviewers, especially so the two reviewers we have working on it are out in the Rocky Mountains and in like Idaho, so also mountains. So I'm excited to see how they find them to be out there. So yeah, it should be good. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much like, I think if there's anything else you wanted to cover, go for it. But it was really nice talking to you, hear more about like Innovate, because, you know, like I said, we've reviewed some of the shoes in the past. It's like, I guess in the past year we reviewed like 3 shoes, but, you know, I didn't know too much about the company, just being a smaller brand. So it was cool getting to talk to you and like learning more about what you guys are about.
I think it's probably worth saying that, you know, we are a UK born brand, and, you know, our headquarters are here in the Lake District in the UK.
Sure.
But we have a base in America as well, in the Boston area.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have a team working out of there.
Cool.
And obviously we're at retail in various places across the States. And people can buy from us online at innovate.com as well. So in the States, you know, we ship there. So it's, you know, it's obviously a huge running market area, and an area that we would like more people to wear and innovate in. You know, it just can be going on. You guys having us on here is fantastic opportunity for us because, you know, like I said before, we haven't necessarily got the resources that some of the other brands have to shout really, really loud. We haven't got, you know, the advertising spends. So, you know, been given the opportunity to do things like this and push and innovate out there is really important, really important. Because nine times out of 10, we get people in Innovate shoes.
Yeah.
They don't change back. You know, well, they're amazed at what they feel and, you know, the grip that they get, and we convert them. It's just trying to get more people in the States into them. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, especially when people find a superior product that performs, you know, exceptionally, especially at the weight that you guys put your shoes at, it's hard to kind of go back from that. So it's, yeah, I'm excited to see you guys grow, and we like working with like a lot of small companies like Innovate or over here like Tracksmith, just smaller companies that like are doing cool things and like taking risks, like doing like, you know, because as a smaller company you really have to like hone in and like work hard to get your, you know, it's, you're not just resting on your laurels, so it's like you're really like focusing, like putting out the best product, like and so it's cool to like always see what people are up to. And over in the UK, even in apparel companies that we've worked with, we've really loved like Ifley Road Running, Soar Running has done some cool stuff. So like yeah, like both of those, it's just like we maybe wouldn't have heard about them before, but doing Believe in the Wrong, we get to experience like a lot of the cool brands that are out there. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are one of them. Yeah,
no, thank you very much. No, and like I say, thank you for having us. Much appreciated.
For sure. Well, Lee, it's great talking to you. I look forward to having you on again sometime or doing this again, and definitely look forward to running in the shoes, reviewing the shoes. So yeah, keep up the good work, and we'll talk soon.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
All right. See you, Lee.
Bye-bye now. Bye.